Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back with a controversial view of LUCKER. Controversial View is the series in which Jason from Horrific Nightmares and I watch and discuss controversial movies, so you don't have to. Of course, that doesn't mean you shouldn't watch them. LUCKER, however, is definitely not a film I'd recommend to just anyone. Before I get into the controversial nature of this one, I want to give a shout out to my buddy Corey over at King Gore. He discussed this movie earlier this year, which inspired Jason and I to cover it for Controversial View. LUCKER, also known as LUCKER the NECROPHAGOUS, is a 1986 Belgium horror film. In essence, this is sort of the Belgium Maniac. Jason and I were both reminded of that while watching this. While Maniac is a more popular horror film known for its controversial subject matter, LUCKER is a bit more obscure. In fact, the original VHS is extremely rare, and it contained the uncut original version of the film. Most of those copies were actually pirated bootlegs. Cult Video released those bootlegs after purchasing the remaining copies of the original release. That version of LUCKER is nearly impossible to find now, but that's the version Jason and I have here. The producer, for some reason, destroyed all of the film negatives after the movie was completed. This is what makes a completely uncut copy impossible to find. They just don't exist. We prepared for these videos by watching the most complete available version, which again is nearly impossible to find itself. Of course, that's not the only controversial thing about LUCKER. The plot alone is controversial. With a title such as LUCKER the NECROPHAGOUS, you can bet that would be the case. LUCKER is the name of a serial killer who escapes from a mental hospital and continues his rampage of murder. Death is only the beginning, though, for his female victims, because LUCKER has an affinity for their corpses. That's where the term necrophagus comes in. And the term comes in is also wildly appropriate, considering. Yes, use your imagination to figure out what he does with their bodies. Controversial? I'd say so. There is graphic gore and violence in LUCKER, obviously, along with graphic sexuality and nudity. Obviously, again. It checks all of the boxes for a controversial movie. And while I can't justly recommend it to just anyone, I do recommend it to those who enjoy movies like video nasties. Had this been released 5 or 10 years prior, I'm sure it would have made the list. Synapse did release a director's cut of LUCKER on DVD, although it is not quite as uncut as this one. But if you are curious, that's your best bet. If you have no interest in seeing this at all, that's fine. Jason and I watched it, so you don't have to. This is just my controversial view. Please be sure to check out Jason's as well. Have you seen LUCKER the NECROPHAGOUS? If so, what do you think of it? Comment below and let me know. Which controversial movie will we view next? Check back soon to find out. Until then, remember, physical media matters. Thanks for watching, guys. hit that thumbs up and, be kind, subscribe.